Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Bella, and today we are going to be talking about why fonts matter in design. Have you ever noticed that some designs immediately grab your attention while others feel boring or difficult to understand? One reason for this is typography, also known as the use of fonts. Fonts are more important than many people realize because they influence how information is understood and how people feel about a certain message. The same exact words can look serious, playful, professional, or even confusing depending on that font choice that the designer chose to use. In this video, I'll explain why fonts matter in design, how they affect readability and emotions, and why designers and companies carefully choose the fonts that they use. There are several common categories of fonts. First, serif fonts have small decorative strokes at the ends of letters. These fonts often feel traditional, professional, or trustworthy. Next are sans serif fonts, which do not have decorative strokes. These fonts usually feel modern, clean, and simple. Script fonts are designed to look like handwriting or cursive. They can feel elegant, creative, or personal, but they can also become difficult to read if overused. Finally, decorative fonts are very unique and expressive. They are often used for posters, invitations, or theme designs, but designers have to be careful because decorative fonts can sometimes distract from the message. Each font style sends a different message, which is why choosing the right one truly matters. One of the most important jobs of a font is readability. Readability means how easy text is to read and understand. Imagine visiting a website or reading a menu where the letters are tiny, crowded together, or written in a hard to read decorative font. Most people would probably stop reading because it takes too much effort. I know I would. Designers want viewers to understand information quickly and easily. That's why readability is so important. Fonts like Arial or Calibri, which is used in the first example below, are commonly used because they're clear and simple. On the other hand, some fonts may look artistic or interesting, but they become difficult to read in large amounts of text. For example, compare these two sentences. One is written in a clean, readable font, while the other uses a decorative style. Which one feels easier to read? I'll give you a second. Most people would naturally prefer the simpler option, which is option one, because our brains process it faster. This shows that good font choice can improve communication and help people stay engaged. Fonts don't just help us read, they also create emotions and feelings. Think about invitations. A wedding invitation often uses elegant script fonts because they feel formal and sophisticated. Meanwhile, a birthday party invitation for kids might use playful, colorful fonts that feel fun and energetic. Even when the words stay exactly the same, changing the font changes the feeling. Take a look at the word ice cream written in these different fonts. Ice cream written in a fancy cursive font feels elegant or formal. Now imagine these same words in a cartoon style font. Suddenly, it feels exciting and playful. This is because fonts communicate personality. Some fonts feel serious, some feel modern, some feel friendly, and others feel creative. Designers think carefully about emotions because they want the font to match the message. Fonts are extremely important in branding. Companies carefully choose fonts because they influence how customers think about a business. A company's font helps communicate personality before people even read the message. For example, technology companies like Microsoft usually choose clean, modern fonts to seem innovative and trustworthy. Luxury brands such as Gucci often use elegant fonts because they want to feel sophisticated and expensive. Sports brands like Puma often use bold, strong fonts to communicate energy and power. When customers repeatedly see the same font, it becomes part of a company's identity. This helps make brands recognizable. Think about famous logos you see every single day. Even without reading the words, you can often recognize a brand just by its font style. Even though fonts are powerful, there are also common mistakes that designers should avoid. One mistake is using too many fonts in one design. When too many styles are mixed together, the design can feel messy and confusing. Another mistake is choosing fonts that are difficult to read. Decorative fonts may look fun at first, but if viewers struggle to understand the text, then the message is bound to get lost. Designers also need to think about size and contrast. Tiny text or low contrast between text and backgrounds make reading harder. For example, light gray text on a white background may look stylish, but it becomes difficult for most people to see. Most designers recommend sticking to one or two fonts and making sure the text is clear and accessible. So, how do designers choose the right font? Well, we've already talked about all the steps, so let's get into it. First, think about readability. If people cannot easily read the text, the design will not be effective. Second, think about mood and emotion. Ask yourself, what feelings should this design communicate? A school presentation may need a professional font, while a child's event might need something more playful. Third, think about your audience. Different groups of people may respond differently to different styles. Finally, keep things simple. Many strong designs use only one or two fonts to stay organized and professional. Choosing the right font is really about balancing style with communication. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps you better understand why fonts matter in design.